Alright, I'm going to open up an instance of Softube amp room and load up an initial signal chain. Typically the way that I do things is start with a cabinet and then add the amp. Just in my experience with modelers, I know I really like cabs with V30s, so I'm going to open up that. I'm going to go back to the amp thing and select the high gain model and see what I sound like with the initial settings. Not bad, but I definitely need a noise gate on this. Gonna dial that in. We've conveniently got one in the amp. And then over here on the mic models, I know again from experience that I typically like using a U87 style condenser model. I'm liking that. Now it's time to go ahead and dial in some settings on the tone stack. Again, I know that I want more gain here. So I'm going to dial that in. I'll add a little treble in there as well. Shave off just a little bass. Boost the presence just a bit more as well as the treble. Now I do want a little more gain there, and typically I don't go any higher than about 70% of the gain capabilities of anything, overdrive pedals, amps, anything. So I'm going to go ahead and add an overdrive pedal, and I definitely need a noise gate. I'm going to go ahead and lower that drive. I already know that I don't use that much drive when I'm putting it in front of a high gain amp. Sorry about this lag on the responsiveness. That doesn't come from the amps in here. That's just because I'm using a 8-year-old MacBook with a dual core i5, so it doesn't handle screen recording and audio processing very well. There we go, our gate's dialed in. I'm going to dial back the tone a bit because I don't want it to be that bright. Let's see how it works with lower drive. Okay, it doesn't work at all. So I need some drive. Very happy with the sound. That's probably the quickest I've ever dialed in a high gain tone. Now I want to dive into some of these presets. variable the tones are from this high gain model. Now I want to experiment with some effects. I'm going to go to a delay and see how that sounds. I'm going to put it at the front of the amp. Not beside the amp, this is parallel. Oops, let's drag it to the front here. I wonder if I can add another delay. Let me try to get one into the effects loop of the amp. Okay, looks like I can. That's enough messing with these delay models. I want to check out the clean amp model. They have something that looks like it's based on a Fender something. I'll try that out. Not the most impressive clean sounds I've had out of modelers, but definitely usable. I think I need to get this volume dialed in right. I'm going to lower it on the amp and boost it at the output level so everything's a bit cleaner. I wonder if the vibrato works. I want to see how big of an effects chain I can get going, so I'm going to add a few more effects. Got a reverb added and a chorus. This reverb is really cool. There are reverb plugins alone that cost $100, $150 and don't do this as easily. Now I finally encountered a problem when I went to a preset that has a lot of instances of different effects and stuff going on, and it got pretty heavy on my CPU. When that happens, you're going to encounter clicking and sort of audio dropouts like I've got here. And if you look at the signal chain, that's nothing to be surprised by because there's multiple instances of chorus pedals and other effects, and we've got amps and cabinets running in parallel. And like I mentioned, this computer is old, so it doesn't handle screen recording and audio processing well. I'm going to see how it handles the signal chain alone without the screen recording by stopping the screen recording. And just as I expected, no issues in the screen recording is happening because that frees up a lot of processing power for the plugin. Yeah, Amp Room is amazing. I'm blown away by how easy this has been to use. I'm not a big fan of computer modelers. My favorite one is probably Helix Native by Line 6. That is infinitely more complicated to use than this. Next to that, I really like the PRS collaboration with Waves. My first videos on this channel were actually taking a look at those, and those are nice to use, but they don't have the effects built in. They don't have base models. And that is also about $100, I think. But that $100 or $150 once Amprim goes full price is much better spent here. Not only do you get very easy to use, really good guitar tones, you have bass models, and on top of that, what I really like is just as a basic effects processor, that reverb is amazing. It's got delay, it's got chorus, you can open up multiple instances of that, and it's pretty light on the CPU. In my opinion, it's definitely a no-brainer to purchase.